Welcome to my empire.
So where are you tuning in from?
So I'm in Ohio, kind of outside of Cleveland. That's like the best that I can describe it for people because there's really nothing here to sort of use as a landmark aside from Cleveland. So I'm like an hour outside of Cleveland. Cleveland is my airport.
The only landmark we know in Ohio is Lost Lands.
Yeah, so that's like way down south.
Okay.
That's what a lot of people say. They say, "Oh, so you live by Lost Lands?" I'm like, "Nope, not at all. It's
Not at all.
practically. I'm not sure whether it's closer to Kentucky or West Virginia. One of the two, though. But I'm much further away. I'm also really close to Pennsylvania. Like the Pennsylvania border is like 25 minutes away. So sometimes if I have to, I fly out of Pittsburgh Airport.
Okay. Is there really much even going on out there in your area, shows wise?
Absolutely not. No, there's nothing. Like quite literally, there is nothing. There's no scene here at all. There used to be a bit of a scene in Cleveland. There was one guy that was working on it for a while. I believe his name was Mike. I always wonder how he's doing nowadays. But he was working on throwing some shows and such at a venue that he owned. And I believe he sold it, stopped throwing shows. And I don't think that, I think that there's only one venue left in Cleveland that does electronic shows. Pittsburgh is kind of lackluster. People will come through if they can play stage AE, which is, I think it's like a 2,500 cap or so. We went and saw the Slander guys there right before COVID hit. It's a cool venue, but aside from that, there's really not much there either. The only real area is Columbus, which is about 3 hours down south. And that's it. Aside from that, there's not much going on in Ohio.
So wherever the town is you are right now, you're calling that the D's Nuts headquarters then? We always see you tag your location there.
100%. Yeah, no, that is my house. My house is the D's Nuts headquarters for sure.
D's Nuts, Ohio.
Yes, D's Nuts, Ohio.
Yeah, other than Legend Valley, it sounds like D's Nuts is probably the most prominent dubstep area.
100%. Yeah. No, and it's quite literally just my house. Outside of that, nothing. If you're in the driveway, nothing. So yeah, that's what we're working with here. That's what we've been working with since the beginning of liking electronic music. It hasn't gotten much better. So
you're in the middle of an area where dubstep is not prominent. So how did you get into the scene to begin with?
The internet. I was a teenager. One of my classmates in high school showed me Skrillex stuff, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. And from there became a big Skrillex fan, and then became a Flux Pavilion fan, and then a Deadmau5 fan, and then a Nero fan, so on and so forth. Kind of fell down the rabbit hole until I started producing myself. But yeah, no, there nothing from a scene at all. It was kind of just like me and a couple of my friends that were like into it, and nobody else was at all. And I was the only one that decided to try producing. And I guess it worked.
Yeah. Do you remember your first show?
Oh, vividly. Yeah, no, my first show was in it was outside of Houston, I want to say. I was 18. I had just had a hip surgery 5 days beforehand. So I was on crutches. Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe you even made it out.
Oh, I was determined. I went with Dad. Me and Dad went. It was crazy.
At least Dad was there.
Yeah, no, it was super helpful because I had also never been on an airplane, so I had no idea what was going on.
Oh my God.
But anyways, yeah, me and Dad flew out and went to Houston. I want to say it was like close to Sam Houston University. I'm geographically challenged, so I might be completely misnaming that. And it was like, I'm going to use the term festival, but that's definitely being a bit gratuitous. It was a very, very low-key outdoor event, and the headliner was Waka Flocka.
Oh,
and
wow.
That was the night. So that was the night I met him, definitely encountered him, I'd say like 6 or 7 more times over the years. I also met, is really funny, Tim Elefante. I met that night.
Okay, yeah.
And he, in retrospect is probably really funny, and I would tell him the same thing. He definitely did not want anything to do with me that night, and I don't blame him whatsoever. I don't think I was being annoying, because how could I? I was kind of hobbling around, but he was just doing his thing. He had been a professional at that time. I was, literally 18, just fresh out of high school. Would not classify myself as a professional at all. But we laugh about it now. We're good friends. So,
Wow.
But yeah, that was the first show.
That's
Wow.
so funny. Waka Flocka used to be the legend. We would bump him in the high school parking lot with the subs in our car and just like raise hell listening to his music growing up.
Oh, I know. No, I used to bump Waka Flocka like crazy. Honestly, still do at the gym. Like,
Yeah.
why not?
Him and Tyga. Tyga had the Well Done mixtape around that time, and we just thought it was the best thing ever.
I was a big fan of the Well Done mixtapes. Very big fan of the Well Done mixtapes. Yeah. Those
That
were
was
great.
the hype age for sure.
It
in
was.
high
It was.
school.
Yeah, it was like the 2012, 2013 era. It's fantastic. Can't beat it.
Yeah, I can see how that would be Chrissy, because so Chrissy grew up in an area called Lakewood, but everyone in Denver calls it Lakehood.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some areas out here where you're like, should I even be walking out here? Should I be even holding anything, or like, am I gonna get robbed? Like,
Right.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
some questionable areas.
So that's I'm glad you said that, because that's honestly kind of like where I am too. I gave you like a rough idea of where I live, but I'm actually I'm right outside a city called Youngstown. Youngstown, it's been well removed from it at this point in time, I believe, but a number of years ago, I'm pretty sure Youngstown won Murder Capital USA. So yeah, not the best place. That being said, Jim Tressel, who I believe coached Ohio State, I don't know, I'm out of touch with sports. Ohio State football is now the president of Youngstown State University, has been for several years, and has been kind of transforming the city. But anyways, all that is to just say that, yeah, completely relate. It's like you go that way, not the best place. That way, not the best place. That way, worse than both the other two places. So I get it. But the music taste is impeccable. That's also probably why there's like no EDM.
Yeah, because we know a lot of headbangers from Ohio. Like, even if there might not be shows, there's a lot of people who love dubstep there.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably closer to like the Columbus area is my best guess. Because I would have to imagine that if there were that many, then, all the major tour stops would come through Cleveland. Only half of them. Half is probably even still generous. Probably about a quarter of them do. I think, what's it called? Is it like Agora or something like that? I can't remember. There's like one venue that people will stop at. That's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's those Uncut Republic guys. I know they're based out of Ohio.
Yeah, so those guys are in Cincinnati, and I just got the privilege of meeting and working with them back in August for a festival that they did, which I think, I could be incorrect in saying this, but I believe it was the first one that they had done, at least for that festival. Interstellar.
Yep, Interstellar.
Was what it was called. Yep. And they did a really, really good job. It was great seeing that. I always take pride in seeing anybody from this area trying to do anything, albeit they're 4 hours south. Doesn't matter. Still something very incredible to pull off. And it looked like the festival really was incredible. I don't know if I heard that they got like a really big upgrade for next year. I'm not sure if that is low key or if that's been publicized yet, so I'm not going to say anything further. But so I would say that they did really, really well, which is great to see.
Hell yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about those guys. I've chatted briefly with Jared, the talent buyer, and then
he was great.
Yeah, and then I follow Sean on social media, but yeah, what those guys are doing out there is awesome. I know they've brought like Wooly out there, Bear Grylls and Lays, and
yeah.
So.
No, that's you got to start somewhere, and I very much respect what they're doing. I think that they are doing exactly that. They're starting, and I'm very, very excited to see how that shapes over the next several years. Hopefully they can expand north. That would be the best.
Yeah. So Jared, if you're listening, take notes.
Jared, I love you.
So I want to know if you're able to spill any other shows that maybe you're potentially going to be playing. Saw that you announced DUBSTEP, but are there any other tour stops that maybe you can spill on the FBI show?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I have a handful. Some of them are definitely really exciting. And because of that, definitely can't say anything about it yet. I think honestly, one of them, the one in which I'm like the most excited about, I'm probably like a week away from being able to say anything about. Oh wait, you guys said you're in the Denver area?
Yep.
All right, well then I'll probably see you guys later this year. That's
In
the one.
July. Yep.
Okay, so I can't say it.
Right.
We're all speaking the same language here. We know what we're talking about, and anybody that's listening to this will probably figure out in the next week as well.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be really exciting. I'm stoked for that one.
When you were here last week, like what else did you do in Denver? Did you get to see the city at all?
Oh, absolutely not. I did nothing. I got there. Well, I've been in Denver before, so it wasn't the end of the world. I'm a big fan of the city. Actually, the last time I was there, my flight got delayed like 7 hours, and my hotel kicked me out, and I wasn't about to get another night just to like, sit around for another several hours. So I went to the library, and just chilled there and played games on my laptop. And yeah, that was my last Denver experience. Honestly, not bad. Some of the homeless dudes would not leave me alone. That was a little concerning, but all things considered, not the worst time. And then, so anyways, I was saying this past time, my flight landed at, I think like 9. So I drove into the city, took a literal power nap. I think it was like 35 minutes of napping. Woke up extremely disoriented, went to the show, played the show, went back to the hotel, fell asleep for like 4 more hours, went to the airport. That was it. I don't even think I was there for I think I was there for 9 hours in total. So
quick in and out.
very quick in and out. But sometimes that's how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saw that you brought out Asora too.
Yes, and that was the first time that I got to meet him and his manager in person.
Yeah.
So that was great. I absolutely love those guys. They're literally too pure for this scene. They're fantastic though. Eric is great from all angles, great person, great musician, and Landon is the same. Although I don't think he's a musician, so I can't really say that, but he's a fantastic person. And I'll say this, he's a great hugger. Best hugger I've come across in quite a while. So
that's a good trait. We were actually with them like hours before they went to you. We
were
with
no
them
kidding.
in Boulder,
because of Boulder, of course. Yeah, I was talking to Landon. I was like, I wonder if I'd be able to make it out there, but not possible. Not with getting in at 9, because Eric went on at 10, and I was like, if I didn't know what was going on. I heard there was snow, so I was like, if I go out there and then try to make it back, and then there's snow and I can't, that's a problem. So it's just went to the hotel and ordered a Cobb salad, and that's what I did instead. So,
Crankdat Cobb salad.
Yeah, that's me. Right.
Sounds like a great night.
It was fine. No. I had no qualms whatsoever.
Yeah, and it looked like a great turnout too at the show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The Denver crowds are always really fun, really energetic. My favorite part of it is that, like, and I definitely can't say this for everywhere, so I will say it because credit is due. Denver crowds really like just about anything. And I don't think I have like a super versatile set, but I've had some places where, like, I'm predominantly like a dubstep guy, melodic bass guy, that kind of thing. And if I play a house song, I'm literally getting like things thrown at me. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, come
snobs, on. Dubstep snobs.
Be better than that. So what's nice is that I know that at Denver I can play, the weirdest thing I have in my set. I could play, the prettiest thing I have in my set, the heaviest thing I have in my set, and everybody's going to like it. And that's definitely something that I cannot say for everywhere. So I really respect that and really look forward to that when playing there. So it was great. And that was true for Thursday night as well.
Love it.
Oh yeah. I can definitely say the same about Denver because I was never really into dubstep when I first moved out here, but that was like, 8 years ago.
Where are you from initially?
San Diego. So I
love San Diego as well.
Yeah,
but
so great.
That being said, that is definitely a place where you cannot play anything.
No, you cannot. We are
absolutely not.
If I was still there, I would have still been a main stage and house head. Like,
sure,
always being at main stage. Just want the basic stuff. No D&B, no hard style, none of that.
And to be fair, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
To each their own. But, It's like there's other things out there and they're fun too. So
everyone should
learn
just
to
keep an
enjoy
open
them all.
mind.
Yeah.
The Denver crowd, we used to like a lot of trance growing up because I'm from here. And so in high school, I would go to Red Rocks. They would always book Above and Beyond every year. Of course,
that's awesome.
Global used to be at Red Rocks too. So that was really cool. There used to be a huge trance family, but I haven't really seen many trance acts come here. Like Vinny Vici will come pretty much once a year, but that's about it. So I don't know how the trance acts are selling around here. We do know that hard dance acts are starting to sell pretty well too.
Oh, really? That's cool. Like, can you give me some examples?
Yeah. Last week, Lady Faith came. We have Darksiders coming. There's this place called the Club Vinyl, and usually every Saturday there's a rhythm show in the basement, but recently hard dance acts have started getting announced. So it's like 303 Family and Amplitude. And the Lady Faith show last week, there were way more people there than we thought there would be when it was competing with Woolly, sold out at the Ogden the same night. And then the Charles I show at Mission.
Yeah. I saw both of those. Wow. Yeah, I didn't put that together. That's fantastic. That's really cool to see.
Yeah, I love it. It's cool to see all the like older ravers, you know?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Wow.
Little
Texas.
Good for you guys.
Yeah, Little Texas came out too. So that was sick.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him. He's the best.
He's a wild boy.
He is. I still haven't got to meet him in person. I want to arm wrestle him. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun.
That you should record a TikTok for that. I feel like that would go viral.
Oh, we'll do it for sure. Hopefully sometime this year. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out. But I actually want to switch gears a little bit here, get a little more serious, because I remember back, it was actually around the time. So just so you know, Chrissy and I, we work at Welcome Records. We help with the A&R stuff, label management.
Let's go.
We were working with Melissa on your track, The Same. So I remember around that time you had posted about how you had like writer's block and how you were going through this kind of a funk, not knowing if this is a career that you wanted to pursue. So I know a lot of other producers might be going through that right now, especially now that festival season is going to come back in full swing. And so I guess what advice do you have for artists who are going through this weird phase where they just don't know what they want to do? They don't even know if they want to continue on with this career. What would you say to those artists?
Really good question. Well, so what would I say to those artists? Probably take some time, really try to self-reflect, think about, what you enjoy about doing what you're doing right now and why you enjoy it. Because the reason why I say that is because what mostly did it for me, and was, I'm going to use the word upsetting, and I genuinely think that's how it felt at the time, was when COVID hit, everything kind of flipped on its head. Because of that, a lot of the landscape felt like it changed in a way that I found myself enjoying very thoroughly. What I mean by that was, prior to COVID, you guys would probably be able to attest to this as well. A lot of the music coming out in the scene very much felt as if it were practically only being created for the point of having other DJs playing that music live.
The hype aspect.
There was a lot of that happening. I would say the majority of it, at least in the bass scene. Other scenes, maybe not as much. Bass scene, for sure. That's how it had been for 6 years, honestly. So when COVID happened, at least personally, I had felt a shift in the scene where that did not matter anymore. Why? Because nobody was playing shows. Nobody was rinsing tracks, because where were you going to rinse them? There was the 2 live streams per week. That was about it. There weren't artists in every single city across the US at every single venue, every weekend. Right. So because of that, it felt like music was doing something a lot different in bass music. And that's when we saw a lot of really cool artists pop up, like Papa Khan, Ace Aura. Chime kind of had a really hot surge, during that time as well. Still going, honestly. But that very much, as soon as COVID started to cease, I don't want to say cease, but it's vaccines came out. there were a lot of people that were like, all right, fuck this, like back to normal.
Yeah.
When that happened, it almost felt like in the snap of a finger, everything just went back to normal. And all of that really, really cool, in my opinion, soulful music that was being created, coming out, getting attention during that time period was not important anymore. It was just back to like, show tunes, dub plates, whatever you want to call them, right? That to me was something that felt very upsetting for a period of time, just because I had grown so fond of the music that I was making during COVID and the music that I was hearing during COVID, because it was very different, but it felt a lot more true during that time. And I really struggled to figure out how to sort of find a middle ground between, songs that I'm enjoying producing, almost for the sake of being listened to compared to just playing songs live, right? So that was really what had done it for me. So that being said, like you had mentioned, if there are other musicians that are listening to this right now that could still be feeling the effects of that, what really helped me was taking a step back, a big step back. I didn't make music for like 3-4 months, honestly. And just trying to figure out, why did I do this in the first place? Why did I start making music in the first place? And why did I continue doing it for all of these years? The answer was I started because I really love it, like truly love making music, love DJing, love electronic music as a whole. And why did I continue doing it? I continued doing it because it became my job. And that sounds very blunt and very borderline depressing, but it was true. I kind of lost a majority of the initial passion. I think a lot of people do, whether they know it or not, in that process. And then COVID, I had refound it. When COVID went away, it also kind of just fell away, but being stripped so suddenly, that's what did it. Being able to realize that, though, helped me sort of being able to identify that helped me figure out my own solution, which was honestly just like, I don't even really know how I can describe it. It's almost like a flip switch in my head that said like something along the lines of like, I'm very grateful to be doing this still, extremely grateful to be doing this still. I still love electronic music. Yes, I had a great time during COVID and everything that happened musically during that time landscape. I could still enjoy now too. Let's find a way to make both worlds join. And then I did. And it sounds very simple, but that's how it happened. But it really took a long, long period of sort of looking inside myself and seeing why I wanted to continue in order to do that. Does that kind of make sense? I feel like I just ranted pointlessly.
No, it totally does.
All right.
I appreciate
Good.
you for sharing.
Yeah. So hopefully that answered your question. That was a little bit roundabout. I apologize.
Yeah, I have another question just really quickly before we move into our submitted questions. What advice do you have for artists who really, really found themselves during COVID, but now that shows are starting back up, they're not really getting any bookings? And like, because I know a couple of artists who they're really good at production. They know that they have what it takes. They're at that like 20,000 monthly range. They're trying to break through, but they are not getting as many bookings as they see other people getting. And like, it's just really hard to, I don't know, like what advice would you give those folks?
You're completely right. It's extremely difficult. And to touch on that briefly, I feel as if I actually can comment here because I definitely, comparatively speaking, saw a pretty big lull just because I feel as if the first thing to come back was the very large scale shows. The large scale shows, I'm not going to get too deeply into this because the last thing I want to do is upset the wrong people. That being said, I'm not afraid to talk about these things in certain frames. Mm-hmm. Those big shows that I just referenced are very political, whether you're aware of it or not, they are. And those politics are something that really can't be, you can't, they just are. It doesn't matter who you are, how good you are, how long you've been doing it. It doesn't matter. Certain crowds are going to work with their friends, their business partners, so on and so forth. And that is the politics of the music industry, period. Doesn't matter if it's electronic music, rap music, doesn't matter. It's the same. Okay. Do not get discouraged by that. There is a very larger machine at work here, and there is room for everybody to have their slice of pie. That being said, as you had just mentioned, COVID ceasing and then these big shows coming back sort of only made one part of that machine visible, making it very, very difficult for those in which you're mentioning that are trying to break into the space professionally. Very difficult to work your way in, get your foot in the door. The time will come. I guarantee it. There is a plethora of talent that is out there that is just waiting to essentially pour in. As far as I'm concerned, to be more specific, it'll probably start happening when you get like this year's Lost Lands. I'm sure will be very pivotal. Base Canyon, other festivals completely separate from that. Just like the mass insurgence of festivals. Now that everybody's sort of back on their feet, promoters and those that are in charge of bringing those smaller artists in to be in front of the masses, things are going to get a lot better. That being said, the most encouraging thing that I can say is that, objectively speaking, the electronic music, the bass scene as a whole is larger than it has ever been before, period. It has been growing every year, and it is insane to watch someone like Sudden Death go from 2018, we played Contact Fest and he played right before me. And now he's selling out Red Rocks. That's nuts. That is a product of how many people are here now, present, engaged in the community, engaged in the genre, and very much passionate about the music. It is at all-time high numbers. So there is plenty of room for people that are new into the producing scene to make a very, very solid dent in it. It's right around the corner. I guarantee it.
I love that. I actually have the chills thinking about Sudden Death's come up because
it's insane.
He came to Red Rocks in 2018 for like snails or something. And he was in like the 8 p.m. or the 7 p.m. slot. And he walked out with a lampshade on his head that said Void on it.
Oh, I remember that. It's hilarious.
Think, like, less than 4 years later, it's literally selling out Avant-Gardner. And like, he's just the biggest icon.
Yeah, it's insane. And it's so good for him. But it's not just good for him, it's good for everybody. The fact that he's able to do that means that there is so much less of a barrier for entry for others. Think about look at like 8 years ago, right? Zed's Dead would be doing Avant-Gardner like that. Maybe, honestly, maybe they might still be at like Webster Hall. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how much the scene has grown. That's how much capacity there is for growth for artists that are just now breaking in as well. So it's all cool stuff, truly.
That's awesome.
Man.
Thank you for that answer. I think that's going to be really encouraging for a lot of people.
I hope so. It's an encouraging time, and I hope that everybody that should feel that way deserves to feel that way, right?
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely, I agree.
Good.
Should we move into the submitted questions, Chrissy?
Yeah, we got a really good one here. Tuffy, one of our really close friends, he's just now getting into Blender, and he wants to know how
good for him.
Yeah, he wants to know how you got started in Blender and if you create the art for all of your releases, or like walk us through that.
Sure. I got started in Blender in I want to say like roughly around August of 2018. The reason I got into it was because my videographer at the time had mentioned it to me while we were on tour, and we were in Germany and had like 4 days off and literally nothing to do. And I was dying of boredom because we couldn't really go anywhere because we didn't speak German. We were in like this like small area of the city where nobody spoke English, and it was extremely frustrating. And he showed me Blender, and I was like, yo, that's kind of crazy. Got into it and absolutely fell in love with the process. It's the same exact thing for me as getting involved in music for the first time. It's just like another way of like, making cool stuff creatively. And I'm really, really fond of that. So that's kind of how I got started. And then I'm so sorry, I forget. What was the other part of the question?
Do you make your own artwork?
Yeah.
For release?
Okay. Sorry, that actually reminded me of the other point that I wanted to say. More specifically, because I want to give the proper advice if you want to get into it as well. I did the Blender Guru series on YouTube, which I actually can't recommend because I stumbled upon information that he's actually a really big piece of shit. I don't want to say that definitively, because if that's not true, I feel really bad, but I believe that it is true and we don't fuck with that. So anyway, try to find somewhere else. Anyways, you had asked how many, like how much of my like stuff I do. I'd say like 90%. Sometimes certain labels are like, yo, we don't really want you to do your own artwork. Like we have a guy, we have something that's like on brand for us. We'd prefer if we could do it. So I say, all right, that's fine. And then, you know, we just kind of, I don't want to say collaborate because their artist is doing the majority of the work, but I'm doing as much as I can to assist them in the process and make it, you know, still in line with like the type of stuff that I try to make. And as far as like show visuals go, I'm very proud to say that I think I have all but one now that are my own. I think there's like one visual from the last guy that I got a pack from that I still really like, and I haven't made anything better. But the other ones are pretty much all me. So I'm very happy to be able to say that.
That is incredible. Tuffy, keep going. You got this.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's just a software. If you can learn music production software, you can learn 3D software. That's all it is. It's the same thing. So there's so many resources to be able to pile on and try to educate yourself on those things. So yeah, keep going. You absolutely got it. Anybody that wants to do that absolutely can.
That's amazing.
Especially because Blender is completely free. The whole program is completely free. That's incredible. So the barrier for entry is non-existent.
Literally, no excuses.
Yeah, they even made a brand new. This might be a little bit too deep terminology, but they made like a year ago. They made a new render engine that literally runs on less powerful machines. So even if your computer sucks, you can still use it. Like you're not going to have as good of a time as if you have like, you know, like a Disney machine, of course, but you know, it's still really, really accessible. So it's great stuff to see.
That's cool.
Hell yeah. Sweet. Well, we have one more submitted question, and then after that, we'll go into what we call lightning round.
Oh boy. All right, let's go.
All right. So one of our street team members, actually, Yale on the rail is what we call him.
All right.
Maybe you see him on Instagram, Twitter. That's his word. Yale on the rail. And
all right.
Yes, you
Yale
read
on
it
the
correctly.
rail. Let's go.
Anytime he's at a show, he's always on the rail.
That's fitting.
He actually wants to know, do you have any more tracks planned or any collaborations with Revlo in the works?
Oh yeah, we just talked about so I get excited to say what I'm about to say, and then I realize I probably shouldn't say it. Yes, he and I just talked the other day. There's something in the works for someone that's not me, that I'm going to be working on with him to try to make something new. That's what I'm going to say. Cool. Hopefully that's sufficient. Yeah. We're going to get something going for him together, the both of us, and it'll be really fun. But I love him. He's a great kid. Yeah. Makes awesome music. And I told him, I'm like, dude, I want to help you however you can. I want to make as much music with you as humanly possible. So yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
more stuff with him in the very recent future and perpetually as well.
And just shout out John. He's amazing. And
he is great.
Yeah, just being at the Lost Lands pre-party. Chrissy and I, we were deep in the mosh pits. We got caught up in the mosh pits somehow. But we were just deep in the crowd. And like at Lost Lands, they had all the artists at the pre-party just playing their own tracks. And John actually played Lasers.
Cool.
He chose that track because like each artist, like they were all like lined up. It was like Hi, I'm Ghost and Radar, Whales, like all the artists that were playing at Lost Lands, they were all at the booth. And I remember when it was John's turn, he played Lasers, and the crowd reaction was insane.
Oh, that's so cool. I never knew that actually. I knew that he played it there, but I didn't know that it was like in that context. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like you have one song only.
Make it fucking count.
Yeah, exactly. And he chose the right one. So it was great.
Good stuff. I love it.
Yeah, that was sick. Well, we actually have the lightning round ready for you. We have 5 questions, and I don't know if you know what's coming, but we got some really tough questions in here. The first one is, would you rather play at a small intimate crowd or a large festival?
I can be very direct with this answer. I was just talking to my girlfriend about this the other day. this might come off the wrong way, so I'm going to try to like clean up my mess. I don't really like intimate crowds that much. I hate to say it, but I feel like I have to because everybody says they love intimate crowds, and I would feel like a complete fake if I agreed with that, even though I don't. Let me tell you the reason why. I absolutely love intimate crowd energy, but every single intimate show that I've played, there is at least one motherfucker that makes it so uncomfortable for me that I have the worst time. I just played this college show just the other week, and there were these girls in the front row that would not leave me alone. And I'm like, I'm here to do my fucking job. Like, leave me alone. Like, and then there was some other dude that literally every single time that the song would go to like a more quiet part, he would literally start screaming, "Hey DJ," as loud as he could over and over and over again until it got loud again and I couldn't hear him. So it was excruciatingly frustrating. That's just a specific set of examples, but yeah, the people like that, if you're listening and you are that person, fuck off, stop doing that. You ruin intimate venues for me. Otherwise I would like them, but I would much rather play for a big crowd because of that reason. There's always someone every single time. Yeah. Unfortunately.
That's the honest truth, folks.
It is. It is.
And they're like hovering over your decks, and they like someone spills a drink, a drunk girl falls over, you know.
Yeah, I've had that happen too, and nowadays I'm pretty uptight about like 6 foot vicinity, like away, bye, for that exact reason, because like that becomes my liability, and CDJs are expensive, and we're not trying to mess those up. So,
and not mess up your set,
and not mess up my set, because that happens too, and that's also very bad. But yeah, that's the answer to that one. It's honest. It might not be the most favorable, but it's at least honest.
Yeah. All right. Here's our next one right here. This might be a little tough for you.
All right.
Fuck, marry, kill, Shaq, Revlo, Ray Volpe.
Oh boy. All right. I'd have to marry Ray because he's my really good friend, and I know him the best. I know John pretty well too, but I definitely can't say that about Shaq, although he's a good guy. I don't know about the other two. I'd probably have to kill Shaq just because, like, I don't know him. Boy. He's not my boy. I'm sorry. Like, I haven't met him in person yet. If we met in person and we really vibed, you know, like it might be different, but it's like, you know, I'm a man for my friends here, and he's not my homeboy yet. Although, you know, we'll see. Maybe at Lost Lands. My goal for this year is to give him a piggyback ride. Maybe after that I'll change and I'll kill John. But in the meantime, I want to give him a piggyback ride.
You better keep working on those squats, because man,
every week we have to, because I know it's going to be a challenge.
Do not skip leg day.
No, we cannot. It's not an option. No. Otherwise, my bones will crumble under the immense pressure that is Shaquille.
So literally right after this. Yeah, right after this, you got to go and hit legs.
I actually did it right before this, so we're good.
Oh,
done. Yeah, already
taken care of. Yep, no problemo. But yeah, so I guess that leaves John, even though you know he's a good-looking dude. Yeah. He's got a little cute little facial hair and stuff, like.
And the beanie.
Cool.
Works.
Yeah, and the little beanie. I like that. You can leave that on.
Very cute.
Although he likes the temperatures to be really cold, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a problem with that. If it's not 71, we're gonna have beef.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know how he does that shit. That's weird. Like if you keep your room at 62, that's weird.
Yeah.
He's like an iguana. His internal body temperature is too high. Too cold, rather.
John the iguan.
Yeah. It's a problem. We're gonna have to talk to him about that.
All right. Who do you think should be on everyone's radar? Like, what artists are killing it?
Oh man, that's actually really hard. I would say maybe like Nushi. Big fan of his. I'd still say he's like he's been on a number of comps, but I don't think that he's like prominent enough to where it would be wrong to say. Because initially I was gonna say like Knock 2 and ISOXO, like I feel like everybody would, because they're just awesome. But I feel
they're
like
blowing up.
Because of that, that's probably not the best answer, just because I feel like everybody they're everybody's got to watch, so it's an unoriginal answer. I'm trying to think of who else. Nushi's definitely my number one because I'm a really, really big fan of his. Aside from that, I really don't know. I'm blanking. So we're gonna go with him, and
Yeah.
that's probably final answer.
Love it.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Thank you.
All right. So if you could play any festival in the world, is there one in particular that you would choose? Just anyone in the world?
100%. Yeah, 100%. It's Ultra Miami. That has literally been my
Ooh.
dream festival for 2022. All right, so 10 years. That's a long time. Haven't done one yet. Would absolutely love to. Would be the greatest honor of my existence. So hopefully one day. I can't quit until that's what happens. No retirement until Ultra.
Okay, well, Chrissy and I are going. I think we're going to go this year.
Yeah.
We're debating.
Mhm.
I mean, there's
Have
a
you
hard
guys
dance. There's a hard
been
dance
before?
takeover, but
No,
Really? Never.
never to Miami. At least I haven't.
Oh yeah, there's where do they have the other ones? Isn't it like there's a
Croatia?
Singapore one, a Croatia? Oh, I guess I did do that one, but I did say Ultra Miami, so I specified. Or not Croatia, the other one, or maybe it was
There's
Croatia.
Japan,
I don't remember.
or Ultra Taipei or Taiwan. Or
Yeah, something like that. I was gonna say maybe Singapore, but I think there could be Japan. I think there is Japan for sure as well.
Mhm.
Because I remember like a Joyride clip from there like several years ago or whatever. But yeah, that's the one for sure. I'd say second would be Lost Lands. Just because like again, home state, still haven't gotten to play, but would absolutely love to.
Cool.
hey, well, maybe you'll be able to play this year.
Last question for you.
All right.
Our agents have received insider information that you have a collab in the works with High Zombie. Can you confirm or deny?
Can confirm, yes. He sent me a plethora of really, really good demos and then was like, yo, pick one. And I'm like, geez. Like these are all really good. So I think I just like picked like the most recent one because I couldn't decide. But yeah, he's makes some really, really good stuff. I'd say he's another one that I could throw on my ones to watch list for sure. Definitely not enough credit yet, but soon. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's actually my boyfriend, so I had to ask.
No kidding.
Yeah. He was like, ask him when he's going to send the stems back.
Well, tell him I said hello. That is so funny. But yeah, no, he's I really like his stuff. So yeah, we're gonna get that going. Ideally, if I can get my shit together sometime this month. But yeah, we'll see. But
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
super
Love to hear
talented
it.
producer.
Shout out High
Sweet.
Zombie.
Shout out iZombie.
I love you, Matt. Just kidding.
God damn it, Chrissy.
That's all we have for you. Do you have any last words?
I don't know. I don't think so. I had a good time talking. Thank you guys very much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I guess those would be my last words. I don't know. Everybody always asks, is there something I want to say, like to announce anything? No, can't do that yet. It's not the time. So, yep, lips sealed. I guess just look out for the High Zombie collab. That's it.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna get some coverage locked in on that one whenever it does get ready.
Let's go.